Team Secret that take the lead in the opening game of this best-of-3 semi-final winners bracket match in Group A. Fnatic putting up a decent fight, or rather, one man in Fnatic putting up a decent fight. Couldn't quite carry his team all the way on his back, though, as the three cores proved supreme for Team Secret. They take that 1-0 lead. Let's find out from our panel what they made of game number one. We've had a substitution ourselves, I should add. We've decided to swap Fogged out and put Nahaz in. It's sort of like a universe for Ohio kind of move. We're hoping it works out better than Fnatic worked out in game one, I guess. Gods, that was a tough game, but there were some moments for Fnatic, and it wasn't all one-sided, and I don't want to pretend that they were out of the game from the moment it started, because they weren't. They had some moments in there.
No, they had a pretty consistent early to mid-game where they were on par with Farm. They had a pretty good position with the Tinker starting to get out of control, but I think ultimately the draft kind of let them down. There were a lot of gaps. They had very little team fight. They had no real way of helping out the Drow when she did get jumped on by this Storm. Lifestealer Razor was just in the front lines taking up all kinds of damage. I
mean, the Drow caught us out, didn't it, there? Because we mentioned it could be a Drow strat to start with. It could be because they've done that before, but that didn't look like a Drow draft, did it?
No. Bad and Tinker.
There's nothing complementary there.
You've got range shearers, but they're not Drow range shearers that you want to be pairing with the Drow.
Yeah.
So it was definitely felt a bit odd. The Drow with the Tinker didn't seem like a duo that should be together, and I guess in some ways the result was not what they were looking for. So I think
those three cores were very strong in the end for Secret, weren't they?
Yeah, I think Secret knew that even as the game goes longer, they would have been completely comfortable taking that game another 10 minutes, because if both Storm and Lifestealer get items in this game, they just jump on Drow and she's dead instantly. Yeah, I agree with Gaz that this wasn't a classic Drow lineup. Drow, we talk about really good 4-position players carrying the game as supports. Drow, if there's a hero that is a support from the carry position, it's Drow. She's a very supportive carry. She needs those ranged right clickers on her team, and Bat and Tinker definitely are not that. This game, actually, Gods and I were talking during rehearsal about the EG VGJ game from Galaxy Battles, where EG had a big deficit and came back to win the game with Arteezy's Terrorblade. This reminded me a lot of that game, because I looked at the game and Fnatic was ahead in gold. I never saw a path for them to end the game, to actually go high ground and win the game with this particular lineup.
They had a decent mid-game fight, which we sort of thought, whoa, hold on a minute, because this looked as if it was starting to slip away, and then actually it came back to them for a moment anyway.
Universe Bat set it up too. He was fantastic. I think we definitely saw him gelling with the team, or at least playing at his high level that you kind of expect from Universe. Got a lot of great initiations off throughout the game. And they were able to always burst down that hero because they had the Gust Silence follow-up, they had the Tinker Burst, but ultimately that wasn't going to be enough to win you the game.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hit towers, and I don't think with this lineup, without a classic right clicker behind the Drow, I don't think that they really had the threat to Team Secret's buildings. It was interesting to me that they finally, Fata is actually the career wins leader on Razor. He's 43 and 28 now on the hero, and this was only the second time that Secret had actually put him on the hero. Yeah. And it took until Captain's Draft for them to do it.
And it's not like it's played in one position for him. So he's played it in multiple positions, which is really cool as well.
It's not really an offlane hero.
But a lot of teams though have used him as a flex pick and have tri-laned around him, for example, in that offlane position. I actually thought Secret was going to be doing that in a number of their previous drafts. They finally did it. It kind of worked out, although Universe looked like he got the better of that matchup early.
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. We'll look forward to our second game very shortly, get the draft underway. What do Fnatic take out of this that they can learn what not to do in the second game?
Yeah, I think their shortcomings were they didn't draft around the first pick Chen. The Tinker didn't really fit in. It felt like, you think of Fnatic playing with Tinker, with Arbit on it. Yeah, great, that's a good recipe for success, but then have a Tinker draft. They didn't have a Tinker draft. The Chen, the Drow aren't heroes that complement Tinker, and that's, to me, is ultimately one of the bigger problems. They played fantastic. I mean, they were up in gold, they were getting kills, they were moving around the map really well, the supports played really well. I don't think any player on Fnatic played poorly this game, but when you look at that fact and the fact you lose, then you're like, well, then something's probably wrong with the draft.
And I think it was. I think it was absolutely a draft win. I think Team Secret came into the series with a very good game plan, and I like the fact that they banned out the Tiny and the Terrorblade. Because if you look at most of Fnatic's drafts during this recent stretch where they've had a lot of success, they've been locking down one of those big pushing cores in the first phase, be it the Envy Terrorblade, be it the Tiny or the PL, and they weren't able to do that get in this match. They went back to that double support open, the more conservative draft, and as the draft went on, just didn't look like they had a good plan.
Yeah. Do you feel maybe that you have to play puppy in that draft? It's often the way, isn't it? So do you feel like maybe some of that got to them a little bit?
I'm sure there's an element of that. I mean, Envy drafting against Puppy, definitely a lot of stress there, I think, for Envy to come up with something. I mean, Puppy's shown time and time again he's often able to put together these drafts and these teams and just find ways that strategically to outclass opponents.
And there's almost a little extra pressure on players that are drafting against him to kind of come up with something a bit crazy and a bit that maybe tries to catch him out. Do you feel like the draw at the end might have been that's why they went that way?
Absolutely. I imagine Puppy, like mentally in those head, Puppy's probably just has this like evil maniacal laugh, like, this is fine. I've been in this pressure position countless times. For Envy, he's probably like in the draft, like kind of, pressures on him to do something crazy to beat Puppy. Yeah. With some kind of weird pick or something.
Yeah, it didn't work out this time round. Alan, do you feel like they go back for something a bit more staple?
Yeah, I mean, I think you, as Fnatic, you come out of this game and you say, look, that we had a drafting problem. We didn't really have the lineup to threaten high ground unless we were way, way ahead or ahead super early. And I think you turn around and you say, in terms of actual gameplay, I mean, we went blow for blow with Secret throughout a long game. And we got ahead. We just didn't have the heroes that we needed to actually end the game, particularly with the strong high ground defense that Team Secret had out of their supports. I think Fnatic, they say we go back to this formula where we lock down a pushing core early on in the draft.
We spoke about both teams have got a few bits and pieces in here in terms of odd heroes that aren't quite what I would call meta heroes right now, Wraith King being one of them. Do you think we might see a couple of those come out?
Yeah, I think we saw that a bit with the Drow, since that's not like a top meta pick, but for Fnatic it's always been a go-to where they've got these two very versatile, funky core players in Abed and Envy who will play these weird, obscure, out-of-the-box heroes, that it is quite likely we see that. Everyone talks about the Abed Meepo, for example. The Envy hero pool is also very unique in what he'll play in the carry role, so there's a very good chance that Fnatic go that direction. I think that's the direction they need to go to beat Secret. They tried it with the Drowstar. Obviously, it wasn't maybe done in the right way, but it was the right approach.
I mean, I guess the other side of that is Puppy sat there going, well, if they go back for their staple stuff, we've got plans for them.
No, I mean, I think it was after the first game that we did this morning of Secret. Gods, you said you liked the fact that Secret were able to win and they just showed nothing.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of say that about this game too, is that Secret didn't do anything in this game that was terribly surprising. Nope. They're just going to play straight up and they're going to make you outdraft them.
And then if we look at their odd picks, we've got Ace. Do you know what his most played hero is, by the way, without looking?
His most played heroes this patch have been Razor and
no, of all time. What's he played?
All time?
Yeah, what's he played all time? What's his favorite hero?
Timber?
Centaur.
Oh, yeah. He's Centaur carry. Yeah. I was going to say Centaur or Meepo.
Yeah, those would be the two. Yeah, I mean,
those are top two then.
Yeah, so you can.
Really?
So he can play, and he obviously has got a Huskar in there that he can play, and he's played that pretty recently as well. So he's got some funky stuff that you can dish up if they need to.
No, he's got the cheese, but that's the thing. What I really like about Puppy is he's in the last year or two, he's really gotten to a place where he doesn't pull out that stuff unless he really needs it.
Yeah.
He's not going to pull out that stuff against a team that he feels he's better than. And let's face it, right now.
Or this early.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to pull it out too early. Let's see how we get on then. Game 2 is just around the corner. Draft underway and bans incoming.
No, but you guys, just to finish that point, you guys brought up about atypical picks. Abed is really he is the only player this patch that's had any success on Invoker. He's 6-2 on Invoker. The rest of the pro players combined are 11-20. And he's really one of the few people that have had success on Tinker.
Also his most played hero.
Yes.
In regards any patch, it seems to be the thing he always goes back to. So not perhaps a surprise that he's been able to make it work to
now that they've nerfed Meepo into the ground, unfortunately got to play something.
Yeah.
Liquid's here. They'll fix that Invoker problem too.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Yeah. Put Miracle
that hero's a range creep right now. Yeah, so look at these secret bans. I mean, I look at this. This is even more extreme. They're going to take out all 3 of those big pushing cores that Fnatic likes to lock down in that first phase. I think this is really smart, and it's exactly the right approach.
And Fnatic, what would you make of those 3 bans?
You got to take out Bounty Hunter against Secret.
And Chen and the Night Stalker as well.
You think very strongly about taking out Chen. The Night Stalker, I think, is all right. So this is the other hero that's factored very strongly into Fnatic's opens when they can't get one of those big pushing cores. And DJ plays this hero really, really well.
think the decision from Fnatic was game one. You know, we only have limited bans. Let's try and not ban the Chen and play it ourselves since we've had some success with it.
Yeah.
Game two, they're probably like, we don't want to do another Chen first pick. It forces your draft in a direction they don't want to go.
Yes.
They didn't even draft around the Chen in game one, which is a big problem. So they're like, we don't want to Chen again. They realized it was a bad pick for them, but they also want to make sure they ban it out.
Yeah. Actually, that's interesting. I actually just looked, and they have a couple of games where they've actually run Pile Die on Clockwork. They've run 5-position Clockwork, too.
Rubik,
Secret oh god.
Immediate response, good against Clockwork Boys, lift people out of the cogs. Always nice to have heroes that get out of cogs.
Just on top of the Pine Eye, DJ's also played it recently as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've had 3 different players.
That's
on the
what
top.
it's.
So
I was
flex
mentioning
pick.
that because it's very unusual that you see Clockwork is a classic 3/4 flex, but
Yeah.
it's very unusual that you see him push to 5. I think this is another reason why you got to be careful with win-loss records, because for his career, Yapsor's win-loss on Rubik is not that impressive, but there are so many drafts where they just first phase it, just naked pick it. Because they feel so confident in his Rubik play. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Rubik game.
It's his most picked of all time and most picked in the last patch too.
This is a little unusual, though.
The Sand King.
Yeah,
I agree.
As a duo for Secret.
Yeah, because you would then assume
Because they're
that
both Yasser
Puppy
heroes.
Puppy will play the Rubik, surely.
He would probably play the Sand King here.
Yeah.
We've seen Puppy, like, the same way he plays like a bounty hunter. Secret's formulas very much have 2 supports that don't necessarily go safe lane. Like, Puppy will play roam as well as Yapsor in a sense. He's maybe the less flashy of the 2. He's perhaps securing mid lane with his presence, but you see Puppy also like play heroes that aren't just sitting in the safe lane securing farm for ace. This is Fnatic's most played 5 position, one of the most picked heroes on this patch, although it's fallen off. It was by far like the hottest shit at the start of the patch. Everyone's picking it, playing it. Shadow Shaman, the ranged Treant Protector, completely OP or whatever it may be, but teams have gotten better at dealing with it, particularly with pressuring in lane. It's very bad against dual lanes. It's a hero that specializes in like a 2v1 scenario, but any hero that pressures it, you kind of crumbles.
DJ's most played in the last in 707C. And Pile Die also has games on it as well, so they've got some flex there too.
I think teams have just it took teams a while to adjust to the fact that Shadow Shaman, he does have all this damage, but then they nerfed his range, and so they figured out that because he's so short range, he has to position himself aggressively to hit you in the first place, and then you just die.
Yeah. I think where Shamans are still having a lot of success is where they can be played as a safe lane support that can be greedy. So you have like we do see DJ played in the safe lane where it's like starts as a 5 but quickly transitions into a 4 position, and the Clockwork is kind of the 5 role. So that's where I'd like to see the Shaman played.
I agree.
Tinker ban, so no more Tinker. Just Arbid, popular pick on this patch, one of Arbid's best. No reason to give it to them again when they're likely looking for a core hero. And yeah, Secret, 4 cores now banned out, and we're going to see Fnatic ban some more as well. So this is where we do see those more obscure picks come up just by nature of the majority of the popular cores being banned.
Oh, and I think that the theme for Secret again is just to ban out the cores that can either push or, in the case of the Tinker, control the lane equilibria. Because if all of a sudden if Tinker's able to control those side lanes, a lot of the really scary pushing heroes lose a lot of their bite.
Is it an Underlord ban?
Yeah, maybe indicating if they're considering a puck pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking that Tide was more likely a Fata hero this game.
Sure.
Having the Kraken against the Shaman disables, but Underlord also very annoying. Does signal that Fnatic are gearing up a bit of a push. And obviously you've got Shaman, but being able to hit buildings, getting those cores that are very kind of early game tempo based.
Fun fact for you, Tide and Abaddon are 2 of the top 3 of both Fatters and Universe most played in the patch.
Yep. Abaddon's really been a huge NA offlaner.
Seems to have been popular for a while as well. Seems to have stuck around.
Yeah, not a big fan of the hero right now. It seems okay, but I think Legion's slightly better version of what it does with the press the attack being better than the Aphotic Shield.
But Legion, Legion's actually been god awful in both pros and pubs since D hit. It's weird. I'm not quite sure why she's that bad.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah, Fatter's one of the few that still plays LC actually.
Yeah. We saw VGJ Thunder have success with it recently. That was kind of perhaps where my renewed belief in the hero comes from. You come from a LAN event where a hero was like a stable pick for the team you went to. It's like, yeah, that's a good hero in the offlane now when 90% of every other Legion pick has been garbage. So have some bias there.
It's weird though. I was having this thought last night as I was looking at stats and looking at those matches in Galaxy Battles in particular. It's like, okay, how much do these stats really matter? And all of a sudden, after that first Vici Thunder beat Vici Gaming today, I'm like, oh, okay, I better go look at those replays even closer.
It's actually funny, actually. Phantom and Universe in the last patch share 4 of the same heroes in their top 5 pool.
Yeah, that's okay. There's your very safe, very easy Fata Tidehunter. He's 8 and 5.
Yep. Most picked.
Good lane, not too worried about getting countered. There are counter picks available to Tide, but typically just always going to be nice for you. Stops a potential
Help me out
push
here.
coming.
Is the Omni banned?
It is not.
No. And that's a very strong possibility. So the only thing is that Ohio is a much bigger Omni player than Universe. Like, Universe does play Omni, but not nearly as often. The thing I like about the Tidehunter in this situation, too, is that Tide, he's almost gone through the same evolution that Sand King went through, where he's now become, there you go, the Omni Knight. That's a good response. Tide's about much more than the Ravage, and especially when you have like a slow support like a Shadow Shaman, he can actually gush and anchor smash and get up in the face of the slower supports.
And Secret's teamfight is much scarier. The other thing where you're not worried about giving them Omnis, you've got Rubik. Every single of Omni spells is fantastic to steal, whether you're getting Heal, Repel, or Guardian Angel, so it does make this a really good Rubik game all of a sudden. And I think Secret, you know this Omni offlaner is coming. You can pick a carry for Ace where you can leave him alone, give him a favorable matchup if you need to. So there's plenty of ways they can play this. Razor, okay, Razor was banned. Let's say if Razor's in the pool, there's Secret 100% picking in.
Is the Tiny banned as well?
Yeah, that was banned first stage. So see where else they go.
That's what I think. I think that when you look at the Underlord and the Razor bans, I think that Fnatic were seriously considering the Omni Knight and the Puck for Abed.
What about the OD here? Oh, okay.
All right. Again, the big problem with Secret right now is that they don't have much push, but they have a lot of team fight. They have at least middling amount of wave clear, and Ace has so many heroes in his pool, like the Lundra, that can basically kill all your buildings by himself.
You can make up for not like in the mid game not having push if you have wave clear, because then you're keeping all the lanes pushed out. You're stopping your opponents from pushing for one thing, and even a non-pushing hero can become one. If your opponents are grouping it to pushes 4 or 5, you're sanking in the off lane, instantly clearing waves. Well, that lane is going to push with the creeps. So,
and the better teams, of course, they're not only with that wave clear advantage, they play around the double cart waves really well. They make sure that they have the lanes pushed ahead of those big opportunities.
Where do Fnatic go here?
Where are they looking for?
Either an Abed or an MV hero?
They've got 2 picks in a row, so it doesn't matter too much which one you pick first. If anything, you're picking the one you're worried about being banned here. Yeah.
So okay, so all right, so they're going to go Abed TA, and that's been another one of his big heroes. I want to say, gosh, he's played he's like played a couple of TA games.
It's not in his top 5 right now, but it's definitely one of his heroes.
Not a fan of TA as a hero, but if there's any way to make it work, Omni Knight is definitely a good way to do that, because having to go this BKB so you can team fight is always rough for TA.
How's the TA OD matchup?
Not really a mid laner, but it should be good for TA. It's like slightly TA favorite, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the thing. As long as TA really needs to dodge these games where she's at a severe laning disadvantage, because.
Well, normally you're picking. I think the only TA picks you see on this patch are where it's like you've got a good matchup.
Right, exactly.
We're seeing less because there's less invokers, for example. But TA was a hero mid that's almost exclusively picked for the laning advantage.
Huh.
We're looking for an Eternal Envy ban, Mr. Puppy. That's what we're looking for, just in case you needed some help there.
Hey, again, Fnatic getting very heavily outclassed in terms of team fight. The TA Omni Knight cores is not good at all team fight.
Is that a junk ban?
Yes, that's the junk ban. And again, you look at it's all pushing cores. Like Secret, they're trying to put Fnatic in the same position that they were. Now, I think with the TA, you at least have a tower hitter. You at least have a hero where if you win a fight, your TA is going to be able to take objectives. But you also are at such a severe team fight disadvantage at this point that I think you're going to have, as long as the lanes go decently for Secret, I think Fnatic's going to have trouble taking engagements in the mid game at all.
All right. So is the TB banned?
It's banned first stage.
It was banned first
yeah.
phase.
Okay.
Tiny, TB, and PL were the first three bans
Okay.
from Secret.
So really then, Envy's left with Bristle, Weaver,
Oof.
Deucer, Wraith.
I think the team fight options are where you look at
It's all awful for him, right?
Gyrocopter or Monkey King, perhaps. Monkey King's the laning hero to
I'm
get
gonna
against
go Monkey
Tide.
King. Yeah.
Yeah,
Monkey
that's
King
a good
is. It's just one of the carries you want to play against a Tide. You're not gonna get bullied. You can leave him 1v1. You've got Jingu. Lane stage is fine, and team fight it's there. You've got some team fight with the Wukong's command.
So last one. What are we looking for? What's Secret?
I think you just lone druid.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
You just need a hero that's going to kill buildings. That's
they
the
ban-
big
wait,
thing.
no, that was their last ban. Lone Druid.
Oh, they banned.
So
Oh, shoot.
Luna, perhaps.
Troll. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Troll, yeah,
we had a
same-
long
same
conversation about this after the LFY draft. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like Troll as a hero right now, but I think there are still lineups where
You
he fits
are
in really
trollist.
well. Oh my god.
Do not be trollist, Nahaz.
So if I throw out troll stats in my racial profiling, is that it now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
you
all
are.
right.
Yeah. Mr. Gods, very quickly, which way you going?
This one definitely Secret. I think much more than last game. They've got another really good draft in Fnatic of team
Right.
fight problems.
2-0 for Gods.
I agree.
All right, no takers for the Fnatic love. No love for Fnatic whatsoever here on the panel. Will we get any love from the casters, I wonder? Let's head into game number 2 then, as Fnatic are on the rack in the upper bracket. Can Top Secret take their top place in that bracket? Let's find out as we head over there now, right now.
Well, we certainly had love for Fnatic's strong showing in the first 40 minutes of that first game against Secret. They at least put on a pretty good show against one of the top 3 teams in the world. So hopefully they can do even better for this game number 2. A Troll pickup for Secret. I'm not sure what's with the Troll pickups lately.
I think they just like it, like as a hero. Because they're one of the few teams that I see like somewhat pick it.
Yeah.
But they like their weird flavor picks in general. When you're like kind of out of the meta, then people like forget what it's like to play against heroes like that. It's pretty cool.
You're like you're trying to establish yourself as like almost liquid in a way that you can just kind of pick some of these heroes and.
Well, you're kind of you're at an inherent advantage when you can play these like kind of like off-brand heroes because people aren't used to playing them, and it forces like different looks out of you, right? We talked about how that was so important, like the ability to consistently do something that nobody else is doing, and being ahead of that curve and ahead of that trend means that you're a more successful team.
Whenever we see Troll, it is always with a really strong combination with the attack speed is super value. Here we see it with the OD. Is there anything else about the Troll that you see in this game that makes him strong?
Think that it'll be okay in the laning phase. He's very good against the roster wards. Like Clockwork doesn't do much against him either because you can get rid of the cogs quite quickly.
It can man fight against Monkey King potentially.
Yeah.
Miss percentage.
It's
combined
annoying
with
against
fact of high
the
armor.
GA and stuff like that though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, was the fact that Omni's tough. But at the same time, we saw LFY also picked up the Troll, and they also tried to do it in a matchup that was not very favorable for more safe laners. It was up against a Tidehunter, apparently thinking that maybe Rageform Troll would be able to deal well with that. Do you think that's a similar concept here? The Omni, think he's going to be able to do okay against the Omni Knight in the laning phase and not require too much support help?
The hero can always just hit neutrals, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like these safe laners that can always just like default to hitting neutrals don't really care too much.
Of course, it's probably not going to be just an Omni Knight. We're going to have a Clockwork roaming around. The same thing, though, for Secret. They've got a Tidehunter off lane with 2 very good combination of support, the Rubik and the Sand King. Looks like they are going to try have a go here on Secret, going for a contest on this bounty ring. So we didn't actually say, do you favor one lineup or the other?
I think Secret's lineup might be a little bit better.
Why is that?
I just think that their team fight might be a little bit more prevalent in the mid game.
TP out from Fana. Gonna be close, but he will manage to make it out. He also will double up that creep wave, pushing into him, so he'll feel pretty good about that. Mid one just takes a huge slew of damage. Holy cow.
He really thought he was going to get that courier.
Universe, healing himself up, is going to be slowed down. Secret, give it the full defensive tri-lane here around the Troll to make sure they actually keep the Omni Knight down. Pylai Die Watches on, Battery Assault already used, and Battery Assault level 1 as well, meaning he won't have the cogs to be able to help get the adjustment to this creep equilibrium to make it a little bit easier for Universe. This is certainly not going to be the same kind of free farming Universe that we saw in game number 1, where he was granted an easy 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, and in mid lane, Abed doing just fine because of that early courier kill attempt.
It's a pretty decent lane for TA, right? Up against the OD.
Yeah, you're alright. Like, you're going to get the farm. I think back in the past it was a little bit different, but now that OD's Astral requires him to be pretty much melee range, it's quite difficult.
Toss back and TP, but this time around,
like that last creep hit.
Yeah. Full creep wave, 2 heroes, not enough for Pylite to be able to make a TP out like that. But again, doubling up the creep wave, trying to make it easier for Universe to be able to find some farm. We're definitely seeing very concerted efforts by supports and even cores to shut down off-lane pulling, which has become quite in vogue. It's become the big thing for all the off-laners trying to. Monkey King versus a Tidehunter up at the top lane means that we don't really need too much support there. Abed may actually be in some trouble here. Pylite Dai has already shown himself. Ooh. Nice hit there with the side blades, but Puppey is going to be able to get the double burrow strike. What a hit. The Sandstorm as well. That's going to be able to burn through the refraction nice and quick.
And mid one got the last hit for that too.
Oh, even better.
Very nice rotation so far by the supports, as Fnatic going to make an attempt on Fada's life, who should be okay.
Yeah, he'll take away some of the damage for the Anchor Smash, but it won't stop Envy from getting that big plus for the Jingo Mastery.
Same time, like, Fada hasn't died, which is wild, because normally Fada has died by this point, and he doesn't really care, and he's already up there again. But I think he realizes, like, this matchup is a little bit different. Oftentimes when Fada plays these heroes, he doesn't care about dying because the commitment is quite a bit. But it's a Monkey King. Like, he'll just build up the stacks again.
Yeah.
Like, he'll do it to you.
So you got to play a little bit more careful, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Jump in. They are going to be able to find Fada here, and it looks like he will finally go down. Fortunately, we have cursed Fada. Commentator's cursed up, but at the same time, they are going to be able to get a pretty good trade-off. They can actually kill Abed here. Nice banishment there from mid-one just to make sure the Clockwork can't interfere, and they can finish up Abed, but barely gets off the refraction in time. Pylite Eye jumps low, but he is able to get a good cogs pushback on a Puppey and the Absol.
Yeah, meanwhile, in this mid lane, Universe finally starting to pick up some levels. Feels very comfortable now that there's not 3 heroes breathing down his neck. Secret really wanted that kill, as the rotation was quite heavy from them. Their 2 supports, when they make moves like this, they're not pulling or anything like that. They're not soaking XP in the lane. They heavily rely on these kills.
Did you see
to
that?
be able to pick up levels.
Ace just walking over. I thought he was going to pick up the bounty rune, and then he actually just left it for Yapsor. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's now completed his phase boots, so that will really help out his laning phase up against the Omni Knight.
That's the Absol though, dude. You give him like 10% of everything. Because he'll pay it back. He just needs to take a little bit off the top in the beginning.
He's so close to level 3. That was probably a reason why.
He's almost got his Arcane Boots now.
Oh yeah, that's actually huge. Arcane Boots.
Invest in the Absol and he'll invest in you.
Purification for some CS. Universe getting what he can. Abed, meanwhile, let's see, 19-5 compared to 18-11 right now from mid-one. Definitely picking up a bit more denies. That's classic OD with the imprisonment. Makes it a bit difficult for most mids to deal with that. But Abed is still keeping pace or even ahead when it comes to the regular CS.
Yeah. Doing a very good job despite getting killed that one time. And this is like actually a pretty titanic matchup. It's like the 2C Juggernauts playing against each other in mid lane.
Yeah.
I love when it's like that. I relish these like mid battles.
Especially when there's not a whole lot of interference from the supports.
Yeah.
You can't say no interference. That just honestly doesn't happen in Dota anymore.
Like, but if I was watching this game in in-game client, I'd just be watching the mid matchup the entire time.
Who do you think's better? I'm gonna ask you that question.
And it's kind of irrelevant because, you know, mid-one's team has had so much more success. So I guess you have to say mid-one in that regard.
I mean, who would you want on your team? We're able to pick one of them for veggies.
I hear Abed's really quiet. So probably mid-one.
Fada, in better trouble here. Is he really, though? See, they do have another Shackles. Didn't think DJ actually had enough mana for that one. Just barely, though. Fada turns, fights, does what he can. Knows he's going to be dying here. The long, long chase. The Monkey King and the Shadow Shaman. Puts him all the way over there. Meanwhile, Universe is actually going to be gone on here. They're going to be able to get the Burrow Strike. No opportunity for a Repel just yet. He's going to be comboed up pretty well. Purification, now the Repel, and they can turn with Pylite Die. Able to grab Yapzor. No telekinesis to be able to throw him outside of his own cogs. So Yapzor is just stuck at the mercy, which there is none coming out from Pylite Die.
Okay, that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, that was, maybe they forgot who their safe lane hero was. A troll does not give you a whole lot of burst damage or anything like that.
He does not. He's not going to provide anything for a while.
Yeah.
So for them to make that attempt, like, that's an Omni Knight that you left alone for quite some time. Like, he's not easy to kill anymore. But
Certainly not. Well, they're going to go again.
does he just heal and he doesn't care about it?
Purification.
Yeah,
Fool me once.
Fool me twice. What was it, like, you're not gonna fool me again.
Yeah, but a George Bush moment
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It's like, no. Isn't that what he said? That's what I was trying to replicate.
yeah.
I can't remember the exact quote. That was like, "Fool me once, shame on you." I know he didn't want to say shame on me.
Like, "Fool me, can't get fooled again."
Yeah, okay,
or
that's
something
what
like
it was.
that.
Yeah. Because I knew he was trying to not say it because, you know, if he says that, they'll replay that 100 times over.
Yeah, it turns out it still gets replayed over and over and over again.
Can't get fooled again. But they did. They made the classic mistake last game, you know, where they just kept going on the Razor. This time, the shoe's on the other foot. Man,
There's so many sayings to go with this one. If they go for it a third, we can even throw a third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
You see, it's easy being a commentator, guys. You just ad-lib various sayings.
No, I would continue the J. Cole song. Let it rain on you. So Puppy's just like walking around, and that's the downside. Is like when you were successful in the early game with these kills, like you want to continue to do them. You know, you get a little bit bloodthirsty. Like these kills can keep the good times never stop, Cap. But the good times always stop in Dota unless you're playing against people significantly worse than you.
And we saw from that first game.
Yeah, that's not the case at all. These are pretty evenly matched teams.
Smoke up DJ and Pylite Die. Not sure what they are thinking they're going to get here. They see Yapzor. Universe is going to come over and contest that pull. I'm thinking they don't want Yapzor, right? They want a troll kill out of this smoke.
Yeah. They definitely do.
But unfortunately, Yapzor is going to prove to be a bit of a craw, as his telekinesis is definitely going to slow things down quite a bit if they try and rapid go for ace. I'm not even sure if they can make this play. He's still just chilling out in the trees, maybe waiting for Yapzor to go for another pull or something and just take that easy kill.
Ace right now just continues to farm. They got a decent trap setup for him. Like maybe they kill Yapzor. Yapzor's pretty much a core.
Pylite Eye going to show himself now. They both pop out. They manage to get the Hex, but it's far too late for them to be able to go for that. And if anything, Ace can actually fight this one out. He's going to try the Cogs pushback. Good play from Pylite Eye. Still managed to get the telekinesis, but they repel up DJ. Puppy's going to walk with him, though, to make sure he can get the Burrow Strike right in time as the repel runs out. Universe actually trying for the ultimate there with a TP out from DJ. That's a smart play.
Very nice.
They only have physical damage after they've thrown down that Burrow Strike and the Fate Bolt out.
We talked about how the Guardian Angel was going to be so useful.
Yeah.
There it is.
I like that adaptation. Omni Knight saw a lot of them just go for like a 4-0-4 build, but he picks up the early repel, knowing it was important when it comes to dealing with that chain stun. He also picks up the early Guardian Angel.
That was just a nice play overall. Like, the roster realizes like there's that half period where his repel's fading, so he goes through the Hex onto the Sand King, which allows Universe enough time to reset, get his ulti off. Save.
Another go for an attempted one at that. With a bottom lane push, they just wrap around, easily able to take that tower. Troll, it's one of the big advantages of this hero. Left alone, you can take your objectives pretty quickly. They still got that siege wagon, so they're going to try and keep going. But Universe does pretty smartly get close enough to be able to pull the creep wave off the tower, and that'll be a quick, abrupt end to that push on the tier 2. They actually moved to defend their own tier 1 offlane tower to make sure that Fnatic can't even score here. But Eternal Envy and DJ are going to make an interesting move themselves. After pushing into that offlane tower, got to smoke up and wrap into mid, something that mid one is probably not expecting here. The smoke's going to pop as the trap goes down as well, really making sure they just get the combination of stuns here, not letting mid one get anything cast off. Not sure if they're going to be able to turn that into a push, but it definitely was a worthy gank, being able to stop the OD, the big carry of Secret.
Yeah, and he's going to be a large part of their strategy is getting a kill on him slows down a lot of his momentum because this hero takes a while before he gets online and he can do things like flash farm.
Yeah.
So, nice kill. Does open up some space though for Fada, who surprisingly is ahead of the Omni Knight, who I thought was doing better.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. I thought that was like a design feature right now. Like,
good work, JJ.
He shook the screen a
Yeah,
little.
he shook it loose, you know?
Yeah.
The game got stuck a little bit.
Oh,
Shake it again, JJ. Fix it.
Oh,
there it goes. God damn. That is a world-class observer right there. Knows all the tricks of the trade.
He just fixed that for us.
Yep.
Okay, we didn't notice this, but
Come on, DJ. We're trying to compliment you. Get your head in the game. Highlight eye goes down. DJ, he's got to be slowed down by the gush. Puppy should be able to follow that up with a burrow strike. And a second kill for Secrets.
Yapsor with the Fate Bolt. Last hit.
Invest in Yapsor.
Yeah. That's like the...
He's making sure to invest in himself right now.
For sure, dude. It's like the Bulba Tornado, you know?
The what?
The Bulba Tornado. You never heard of this?
No.
It's like when Bulba used to play mid, you know, a long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
Right? And Bulba... hold that thought, his Fada might actually die here.
Mid one, he's going to be okay, but the Tide Hunter's not going to be as lucky. He actually gets off the Ravage, but the Repel was still there on Eternal Envy, so he didn't get stunned up. Not sure if Yapsor would have saved him anyway. Yapsor actually revealing his positioning there with a Fate Bolt. He does have the cogs. He's going to have to right-click his way out of his own cogs there. Eternal Envy did not have the spring up to be able to catch Yapsor in that awkward position. But they're still going to try and fight this one. He's got the Repel, but he's got no mana to support. He just picks it up and just in time. Right, he's Eternally Envy, tries to throw down the
DJ's
stun.
waiting,
DJ's on the other side of things. Yapsor is just saying space created. I have taken creeps off the tower, heroes off the tower as best I can. In the end, though, it still results in his death. Secret gonna make the same play here for the support Pylai die. I thought we stopped doing this, by the way. Good TP out. But, oh, man. I actually thought that was going to be good enough, but never mind. I thought we stopped doing that. I thought we stopped leaving supports in safe lane towers to try and, like, kind of half defend and prolong the life.
I think that they thought that they were going to save the Tide Hunter. Yapsor probably thought there were some cool moves to make down there.
Yeah.
I mean, normally he'd find some crazy-ass ways to, like, survive that. He's like, oh, just steal one of Omni's spells and it'll all work out.
Yeah. He's like, I'll get purification.
It almost always works out, man. I'm Yapsor.
I'm Yapsor.
Yeah. And conversely, you know, DJ's like, dude.
I guess I'm just surprised that Pylai Dai made a similar play there for his own safe lane tower. They are going to commit the wards.
Oh, Pi, it's a bit different because Pi, I've never seen a support care less about their life. Like, dude, life is precious.
Not according to Pylai Dai.
I mean, Pi just died up here and he dies again, and you know, Pi's thinking to himself like, space created, you morons. Like, now we know where two of you guys were. Maybe we knew before, but now
now we definitely
know.
You didn't TP back to the fountain.
You've activated my trap card, you fools. Just like, You myths. I don't know. I think Pi thinks like you come back stronger every time. You know, like whatever doesn't really kill me.
I was just thinking about that. They really need to make a hero around Pilot Eye's playstyle.
This Wraith King, dude.
Like some sort of hero that you gain gold by dying, or you just get stronger by dying over and over again. Like I would think Pilot Eye would be like the ultimate techies player, right?
There's a lot of 3K players that would love that concept. You get stronger the more you die. So I have a bunch of friends that they've got like a 70 MMR account or something, and I was like, if you've got 70 MMR, why don't you just like get it to 0? Because they're very good players.
Yeah.
And they said like when the MMR gets that low, it's not everyone has the same idea as you, and so
you're all trying to get to 0.
Everyone wants to lose, so it's a new meta where people try to more efficiently die, and apparently they're just the guys that are doing it are like pros or something at it, so they're just much better at it than my friends are.
They've really broken down the game.
Yeah,
to
they
the next
understand.
Level. It's like when Grant was telling me about how he plays ability draft. He plays it with like Bleak and stuff, like some former pros and stuff, and they just get their ass whooped over and over again. It's because these guys know ability draft in and out.
These guys have really been rocking.
They understand how to lose on a very intimate level.
It's like you get down to 0 MMR, it's just all Pilot Dice Mercs like. But Pi, it's just kind of been like the tenet of his play. Like we always make a joke about it, but if you think about it, if you're a support and you're shoving out the waves, right, and 2 or more heroes come to go kill you, then that's space that it's not a joke. It's actually space that the other side doesn't necessarily get, right?
Yeah.
Like it opens up time for offense.
There are 2 heroes there, so we can make a play.
It's contingent on having like slightly greedier cores, which he does. Like he has a Monkey King and a TA this game. Then he needs to create space for it, and somebody has to shove out these waves, so that they can continue to get farm.
Well, Pilot Eye's a master at its craft, and he's going to go for it again.
No,
this time around, it's a trap! They have the BKB from A, so maybe it's a double trap. But there's going to be the Omni-9 ultimate, so it's a triple trap. Puppy, gold all the way through with a Burrow Strike, but he's still going to be caught.
There's so many layers to this game.
Now you see the true intricacy of professional Dota 2.
There's just layers on layers on layers on layers.
Hey, we still haven't even seen the Eternal Envy play. Tries to go for the courier, misses.
That's wild. Like Pi, I mean, yeah, somebody died for it, but they also forced a troll BKB and he did not die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's the real loser here? Clearly DJ, but aside from that, like the BKB was used.
Yep.
That's a 10-second BKB charge. Like Pi's a...
Oh, that was not synergy.
Oh, no way. If he gets out because of this...
Yeah, he definitely does. That is anti-synergy, my friend.
Oh no, they used their only 2 disables at the same time.
I'm not sure who's having the flashback moments here to Team Secret. One of them is. I know that for sure.
Mid one's like, okay.
Universe is like, I promised myself I would never do this again.
That was wild.
This would never happen.
That was a really random moment, which is why we're laughing at it. Cause literally, their 2s. He was pretty dead.
Eternal Envy is playing like no farming right now. He is just hopping around trees, trying to find some sort of team fights, some sort of situation they can get into an engagement. He hasn't even finished up his Echo Saber.
Yeah, he needs to continue to. Okay, misses on the hook shot, but I think he needs to get some amount of farm. Like, he can't afford to just get nothing for this long. He's chasing heroes around for quite a bit.
I don't think you really catch the Sand King without with the hook shot already missed.
I don't know. This Omni Knight's really fast, Cap.
That's true. If you just caught him with the Ul Scepter. But, I mean, still, it would have been so much time for all 3 of these heroes to kill a Sand King.
The supports are just trying to buy space. Okay, Envy finally hops down. He's like, okay, enough of that.
Puppy has learned the ways of highlight die, but he's made the next step in evolution. He doesn't actually die. Or does he?
What? Did his TP get cancelled?
Yeah, I think Envy managed to hit him with the stab.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I thought he was good.
Okay. But as a result, look at this. The true genius. Look at Roshan Pit right now. I think they might just get Roshan for free.
Maybe. We'll see. They're actually getting close to the Roshan Pit. Yeah. Gotta get out. I mean, they're playing it against a Templar Assassin, too. Yeah, so easy to get traps inside. You actually see that's a Rubik trap that was inside of the pit as well. So both teams have good vision of that Roach
Both
pit.
teams are ready for this. You're playing against an NV lineup, you know.
All right, round 2. Secret apparently had the idea to take Roshan before Eternal Envy has the opportunity to do.
It's one of the best ways to never have to worry about it. But Troll's starting to get a little bit low, and Secret...
It's not the easiest fight in the world. Oh, jeez, this OD is just going to stumble straight to a world of hurt. Nice combination there with Pilot Eye getting extra disabled with the Cogs push. Unfortunately, he just didn't have a damage to be able to finish him off. Now Universe, an awkward bit of space there, actually gets his repel stolen away from him. Vada thinking about a Ravage, actually going to be hexed up, turned around. A little bit more control from DJ as he shackles, committing his life with this one. His ace comes in with a BKB. Finally, Ravage does hit. Managed to hit the Monkey King up in the trees as well. Eternal Envy's in a really great position to be able to lay out an ultimate if he wants to. Actually goes and tries to finish on mid-1. Needs a little bit more damage. Can't quite get it. The cogs go out from Pilot Die, but the repel is still there on the mid-1. Yapzor is saving mid-1's life long enough for him to be able to get down the ultimate. Finally, he goes down, but it might just be a little bit too late. He may kill the OD, but it's going to cost Abed his life as well. They full-on committed to bring down mid-1. Yapzor delayed that death long enough for Secret to be able to easily win that team fight.
Yeah, he almost lived there too.
Yeah.
He was mid-animation for the Astral, and he gets out of there 100%. And now Universe getting gone on Secret. They're going to finish up this Roshan. Yapzor, it looks like he stole Meld. Makes things a little bit faster.
Right. Yeah,
Roshan
sure.
Yep, and now Ace picks up that Aegis. Now he's very farmed.
What the hell? How does he still, like, meld a spell that's not supposed to be very useful, and he's able to use it in a great spot for Roche?
So, in that situation, they were able to get
this is not looking so hot. The repel, they actually toss him outside of the cogs. Physical damage is just too much.
Boy.
This troll is hitting super hard, and if you throw down a gush as well.
We're seeing the counter as well when you play Rubik against the Omni Knight.
Yeah.
He's consistently just stealing the repel over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, Universe is in an awkward position where you give up the heal, fantastic. You give up the repel, even better. You give up the Guardian Angel, oh, you made their dreams come true. Like, there's...
In a way, though, it is kind of a zen moment where you're like, it doesn't matter what spells I cast. He steals everything. Everything is good.
Everything is good. And
Eternal Envy, what a beautiful ultimate. This is set up with a double stun. They're going to be able to take away that Aegis as well as finish off the Sand King. But the second life of the Troll is going to be a bit harder. Envy is going to run out of his own ultimate. Yeah, this is retreat time. They're going to try and get out way, see if he can actually jump to a tree here pretty soon. Does manage to get it. Oh, what an annoying hero. Eternal Envy is able to jump. And Troll is not going to be able to catch him, but they might be able to grab Abed. Blink back. Refraction, protecting against the gush damage. Pilot Die. Warding off the rest is Secret a little bit more with the cogs. Staff comes down. They're actually going to make a commit here on the Yapzor. I don't think that's a good idea with the telekinesis. They easily lose Pilot Die. And
they want more.
I don't know. They just don't really have... I'm not sure if they can really take a team fight without Eternal Envy as ult.
Yeah. So in the previous fight, remember, Envy had used his ulti for that top engagement.
Yeah.
It's layers to this game. When he used it to kill the Sand King, he didn't have it for that fight. And if he has that, then they probably win that fight, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage, but that's why sometimes, like, when you look at these supports, I know people will laugh and say, like, oh man, Puppy, you fool, you died to Envy, but look at what happened. He had to use the ulti commitment for that.
Oh, they caught Envy. Knock him down the tree. He's going to be stunned for a long while. He's long enough for Ace to be able to finish him off.
They finally punished him for it.
Yeah. He's been hopping around those trees like a madman.
That's where the supports come in handy, Cap, when they can force out these large ultimates. There was like 10 seconds left on this ulti in that engagement. But we saw how big of a difference it is when he does have it. They can kill things quite quickly.
It seems like this TA is just not going to be able to stand up to the OD or the Troll. I mean, these are two cores that definitely outscale you, and right now, OD is not that far behind the TA, and Troll is actually 2,500. It's now 3K after they're taking that tier 2 ahead of the TA. Yeah, I just struggle to see how the Templar Assassin's going to be able to make the comeback in this game. Hero that's not really well known for comebacks.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, just because her ability to scale is largely dependent on like what other kind of core she has. But normally, when you think of a hero like TA, like you're one of the true one positions in the game, right? but this hero like doesn't have her own disable. The gap close comes in the form of having your blink dagger, which is a heavy item commitment.
That is a rolling watermelon. God damn. Look at him.
Yeah, he's fast.
He's just trucking. With the phase boots and the drums, he is looking to be able to catch an extra hero, and it looks like he found him. Slows down DJ. DJ hoping not to give up a whole lot of intelligence to mid one. Knows he's dead. He just tries to stop the insteal.
Just kill me faster.
Yeah.
Don't take any more. Oh, mid one was on the chase. Knows that Envy doesn't have a BKB quite yet.
Thinking about it, thinking about pump fake. Pursuing a little bit with the trees, but there is a Sand King behind him. Oh, they had a double damage on Abed too. Man, they really want to take that one universe. Caught a little bit out of position here, and they can chain these stuns pretty easily with a Burrow Strike, follow up with the Telekinesis. The universe is very dead. And they're going to pursue for more. Envy chilling out in the trees, though, won't be found. Is Envy playing this Monkey King correct? Because he's spending so much of the time in the trees. I guess my question is that what he's supposed to be doing? And they're just like, something's wrong with the team that they're not actually finding the engagements? Or should he be farming more? Is he spending too much time in the trees trying to make things happen?
I think there was like a mid-game period, because his Battle Fury timing was insane.
Yeah.
He got it really fast. And then there's this mid-game timing where he just kept hopping around mid.
Yeah.
And he was just like going back and forth. That I think was... That wasted way too much of his time. Like, that was the period when he needed to farm. He has that Battle Fury at a very good time. He can shove out the waves, be very aggressive around the map because it's hard to kill him. Now he's using this time to try to catch up, but...
Yeah, if he had a BKB right now, the only threat would be Troll when he throws down his ultimate. Even that's not a threat if we get the plus 100 armor.
Yeah. But now they're just hitting on the tower a little bit. Very nice item pickup, so away from Uni. Goes the Heaven's Halberd.
Secret. Oh, that's an interesting one. The Aeon Disc choice for our Outworld Devourer. So if he's jumped, he can play this a lot more on the front lines. It's interesting. You got a perplexed look on your face there, Blitz.
This game is just... It's weird because I felt like this like Omni Knight should just like take over. Like once they pop GA plus the Monkey King ult, I felt like there shouldn't be a lot of ways like for Fnatic to lose the fights, you know?
Yeah.
But they're just getting peeled around the map. It's hard for them to keep up.
Pushed and pulled. Abed gets off the refraction, hoping that'll last long enough for him to get off the blink. Pyladi's actually going to give up his life to make sure the Templar Assassin does manage to escape. Oh, Monkey King. Hop, hop, hop away. Getting closer to that BKB. Needs another 1,000 gold. Pretty desperately, too. Where are we?
Doesn't feel super good, though, when you're forced to get a BKB and you have an Omni Knight on your team. Although his priority, of course, is going to be Abed. And you can't really rely on that too frequently.
I like how the range creep always knows.
Of course he does. He's a detective.
Detective creep.
He went to school for it, Austin.
I'm just imagining some sort of noir-esque show with this range creep
He's on the
detective.
case. So, I mean, it's going to be short-lived because it's one season. Those things die really fast, man.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
21-10 right now. And that kill score is indicative of how much Secret are ahead right now. They're actually up by 8k by 30 minutes. Looks like they're controlling the map pretty well. They've got the better late game. On top of that, with both the Troll and the OT scaling really well. Monkey King and TA, while not terrible at scaling in the late game, not going to be able to match that pace. Troll's got a butterfly. Ooh, that's going to make things rough for our Templar Assassin.
He is so farmed right now.
They do not have a whole lot of magic damage either, so I'm thinking this Troll is almost invulnerable.
Okay, that was Mid one jumps in because he's super confident, and YapzOr, he's like, YapzOr does not miss this, let's go.
Dire's middle tower has
Completely
fallen.
whiffs.
If I'm mid one, I'm daring them to go on me. We got an Aeon disc,
Oh, he's an Aeon.
guaranteeing that you can get off the imprisonment. Blink away. Oh, that's an interesting Cox push. Mid one actually blinks into one, forcing himself deeper into the base, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to matter. Or maybe it will, with Eternal Envy already taking down the troll. Jesus. He died really fast.
Yeah, Troll. He has no save.
Yeah.
They popped a lot of different abilities for that too, though.
Yeah. And now, no Monkey King ultimate here. They're going to try and catch Puppy and just get the Burrow Strike ahead of the stun. They will be okay. Despite that death, now a 10,000 gold lead for Team Secret. Do we gotta start turning this Omni Knight into like some sort of, does he get like Radiance or something to turn into kind of a damage dealer?
I'm not sure. Maybe he just continues to tank up a little bit more. Gets things like Shiva's.
I mean, surely I'm not crazy, right? Like Fnatic gotta win this game in the next 10 minutes with their kind of lineup.
They can always just burst the troll.
Yeah.
There's no real. The biggest save is the OD,
But they
it's
still
hard
got
for
a
OD to follow.
2-core lineup, right? You kill one of these heroes, and the other one's always going to be strong enough to be able to win you a fight, right?
I would agree. I'm just trying to find ways for Fnatic to still be able to close out this game.
You always look on the bright side of life.
Not really.
That's true.
I get into fights with way too many Navi fans for that.
I was going to make a Navi joke there,
Yeah,
too.
were you? It's good times, man, you know? Sometimes you just gotta live, you gotta really embrace the wild side of life.
I mean, let's be real. We don't have Alliance fans to trigger anymore, so
That's true.
some loyal fan base has got to take the hit.
Alright, so they're smoked up. I like the smoke. Their lanes are starting to push in. If they could run into one of the cores here, they would try to go for the high ground immediately. And their high ground game is fast. It's the best thing that Troll does for you.
Yeah.
He punishes you real hard.
Abed. Nice blink into the trees. Good positioning there. We can play the full-on Templar Assassin split push game. Laying down traps to cut creep waves.
This is how they have to try to delay the game
Radiant's
as
bottom
much as possible as
tower is under
Puppy.
attack.
See if they can force Secret out of position somehow. Secret really wants someone. Let's get a little greedy and step forward and try and farm that. But Abed doesn't need to. He's got traps to farm it for him. They won't even get close to the tier 3. So. And Eternal Envy can do the same thing, right? He can Primal Spring onto a creep wave, kill onto a creep wave with his Q. So, Secret, they are actually going to be a bit stymied by this one. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to solve this this puzzle of dealing with all this split push. Maybe the answer is just simple.
Yeah, they're going to go first smoke of
Force
their
it.
own. They can't give up this Roshan.
Yeah, Fnatic are going to be in a really good position to be able to fight this one.
really
They
nice
got
fight for them.
Sable, but they managed to get the Force Staff outside of that ultimate. Now Eternal Envy is kind of stuck in a position he didn't want. Fada's actually going to go into the Roshan pit. What is he doing over there? Fada just dies. Now the push from Pylai Dai actually pushes in the Zanking into the ultimate as well.
DJ is taking up so much of the time right now.
They're still
gonna
trying to
get the
finish them up.
Roshan.
They do manage to get the Aegis as well as the cheese. Now, the fight continues. Mid-Wan's already stolen a lot of intelligence, but the big cores are here. Universe pops the ultimate, turns and fights up against Mid-Wan, drops the ultimate, a big bomb, does a
Puppy
good amount of
walking in.
damage. They actually finish off the Monkey King. He gets so much out from Puppy as well. They turn this fight and win it. Secret. I thought they were going to get overwhelmed for a second there, but it looks like the OD is just too big, too bad. Fnatic get wiped despite winning the Roshan.
Oh, that
Taking the Aegis and cheese.
really feel like that should have been their fight, but like you said, the two cores were a little bit too powerful. I thought it just walked in, couldn't get Ravage off, but at the same time, like it didn't matter in the least.
I thought maybe there was some sort of aggressive force staff or something. I'd have to look back at the replay.
It
I'm
might
not
have
sure
been,
what
honestly.
happened to him because that was such a weird thing for Fada to be doing. Or maybe he just really wanted to interrupt the Roshan attempt.
A lot of buybacks used for that one.
10 deaths at the 30-minute mark in this game is his second most. Really? I'm actually surprised by that. I thought that would have been like 20th on his record. So Secret continued to build more and more of their lead.
Why do you think he went for this casual like chainmail? By the way, he's had this for a while.
Yeah, what
but he went Hex, and he's not going AC.
Was he thinking about going AC maybe? I mean, they only have physical
For a
damage
second,
for the most part, right,
whenever
on
JJ
Fnatic.
hovers over it, it looks like there's like a Mercedes-Benz logo over the chainmail. Whenever he was hovering over the... Now it's sponsored by MSI.
MSI.
Chainmail sponsored by MSI.
The Predator chainmail. Oh, there's a Ravage. Managed to catch 2 out there. Fortunately, Repel was on Abed, but the Rubik's now going to be able to steal it. Just throws it on a mid one. The OD, just a beast.
How much does OD have?
He has so much intelligence right now. He's going to be able to finish off the Omni Knight as well. 44 intelligence stolen. The 25 talent is the one that increases the duration by 2 minutes, right? Or a minute, sorry. Yeah, okay. So he doesn't have that yet. But much like a Slark, Fnatic, they gotta just avoid team fights. Not like they have much choice in the matter. They only have their 2 cores.
They
no
lost 3
buyback.
heroes with no buyback. They should probably avoid fights.
Yeah, you should probably not take this 2 versus 5
I don't know
now.
if these fights are going to be successful for them, Austin.
It's the 44 intelligence that really makes the difference, Blitz. If that wasn't there, trust me, Fnatic would be all over this team fight right now, like white on rice, like OD on a Templar Assassin, blowing him up with the Arcane Orbs. That's now a 4th hero down. Quick buyback.
How
though.
much is that? 84?
Yes, that is 84. That is the number.
Don't fight him, guys.
Does Abed even have intelligence left?
Don't fight him. That man right there. It's starting to slowly slink down, so maybe if you wait another minute.
Oh no, the Scythe of Ice, they're just going to blow up the Monkey King. The ultimate really doesn't do a whole lot for them. The BKB pop by Abed, he's trying to focus on Afada, but he can't actually get that 1 kill at all. They've lost all their support
They're
there.
just gonna
Call it, yeah.
Yeah,
DJ
DJ calls it. Good
Good
game.
game.
And I mean, Fnatic, once again, with some bright moments, but Secret are way too much right now. Ace clapping it up. They're going to be pretty pleased with that. Pretty clean 2-0.
Yeah.
Both games had these like weird hiccup moments, but I mean, Secret are rolling right now.
What makes Secret so good? Like what was it that they just dominated the European qualifiers? Next thing you know, they're dominating lands.
Just tons of games on top of just having a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah.
Like when you're used to when you win that often, you get used to it, and then it becomes like a winning culture where you expect to win these games, and even the games that might necessarily like for a second they go bad, you don't expect to lose the series or the game even, right? Like you're able to reset yourself a lot faster. Like when we were at this event, so the last time I was in Genting, it was as DC's coach, right? And we felt like around that time period we were a very good team. Like when we went to the Boston Major, we got top 4. They had just gotten top 2 at TI, and we ended up winning this event, and it was largely because like everyone had a pretty good mentality around it. Like when we came here, we expected to win.
Yeah.
And so when you have that behind you, these games like which might be kind of close, you end up winning anyways because you know you're able to close it out. You go in with a good mentality. Even if you lose a fight or 2, you don't get rattled. Like you just continue to play smart Dota.
Yeah, and it seems like they seem really comfortable with the reads in the game, the calls. It seems like everyone's just kind of where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Secret really just do seem to be indomitable. And I guess with that, with easy 2-0 for Secret, we're going to head over to the panel now so they can break down this victory by Secret, see how far they can go here at ESL One Genting.
Thank you very much. Yes, 2-0 win for Secret. I'm not sure I agree with Blitz. I think a year ago it was the first LAN on 7.0 and no one had a bloody clue what they were doing. But nevertheless, we'll agree to disagree. What we can agree on, though, is that Team Secret were absolutely fantastic yet again here on LAN. They just don't stop, do they? And Fnatic had no answer to them, even after what looked like a good team fight halfway through that game, and it still worked out in Secret's favour. Let's find out what our panel members thought of game number 2 as we wrap up the series and look forward to our next one. Fogder's rejoined us in a kind of like super versus OP kind of trial swap. It didn't work out with Alan, so we've dumped him and we've got back the original man.
He's compared your ability, making it comparable to Nahaz
sort of.
in that way.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Anyway, so the game. Thanks, Paul.
I mean,
fine.
it's another dominant performance, Gods, and I think Blitz capped it right. He said in the middle of that commentary, there were some bright spots here for Fnatic. It wasn't like they just got steamrolled in the game.
Fnatic looks like a team that will quite likely make the playoffs with how they're playing. Like they've kind of challenged Secret at times. Draft-wise, I think they fell short, but they showed that they can play and execute the idea behind their draft, even if kind of like how we feel they're getting out-drafted a bit.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is the draft, but I mean, man, Secret's just. I think the thing is, like Blitz is saying, they just look so confident in their moves. They're just like, oh, we're just going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And it doesn't seem like they have a stop. It doesn't seem like they're like, okay, this didn't go exactly how we planned, let's go back to resort to farming. No, they just keep going, keep that aggression up. They don't let the other team really just play their own game. They're playing at the pace of Secret every time.
Do you feel like they're a bit of a snowball team as well? And that confidence kind of just becomes a snowball, doesn't it? They go, right, if we do this, this, and this, then we'll get this. And then when it actually happens, they're like, oh, actually that worked. Right, well, let's try something else again. And then the next time Puppy calls something, they do it again, and that works. It kind of breeds that confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we saw that a lot at DreamHack Major, too, when they were playing. They just were like, oh, Midwin, have you ever played this hero? He's like, nah. Pick it, though. Looks good. Then that's like that confidence. And then now they're like, oh, okay, we're going to start building off that and maybe just opening up his hero pool.
It's great when you don't have to go for your comfort picks.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Gods, in thinking this is comparable to OG maybe a year and a half ago when they were in that same position where Miracle would just go, well, I haven't ever played that before, but fine, all right, well, I'll just play it then. And it would still do well and they'd still win a game. And you just thought, how do they lose here? Because it kind of feels like that to Secret right now.
It's starting to feel like a similar level of dominance. You know, OG were going major to major, win to win. As well as outside a lot of the other events. And there's a few challenges there, you know, like OG had EG and VP, and now Secret have VP and Liquid. So we'll see what happens when Secret go up against some of those bigger names. Right. The big three is kind of it seems right now, but
they are just. I mean, they're just very good at team fighting. They're like, look at this.
I mean,
this fight's such a good example.
This is
the way
fight
they
we
stay in
thought.
there.
We looked at it and we were like, okay, well they've got Roche here, Fnatic are in this, and then it looked like they'd set up perfectly. They've got everything around, and suddenly they just melt.
Yeah, they killed a tide. There's no Ravage. It's like, well, the biggest issue with Fnatic's draft is that they are getting completely outclassed in team fight. They killed the big team fighter. Like, surely that's going to be enough. No, there's still a Sand King. There's still a Rubik. There's still this really, really hard to deal with OD. The OD with the Omni spells was, I mean, you effectively have an OD Omni with the Rubik there stealing Repel in some fights, Purification in another. It was such a good game for Rubik.
The other thing I do want to talk about with Secret is their warding. The way that they play around their vision in most of their games is actually super impressive for me. Like Puppy, he always finds time to just sneak his way in and get like this very deep ward, and then they actually play around that. You see they make a smoke movement just because they're like, oh, 2 people are going top, we see that, we know somebody else ported bottom, and then they make that move top because they have those deep wards. It's actually like so many of their games when I watch, I'm like, wow, when the hell did Puppy go into their base and place a ward there to snipe a courier and then
Ninja warder.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see how much this team is.
And that's another part of the key, isn't it? As to their success. People ask me, they say, well, why are they so good? Well, because they do everything well, not because they do one thing. That they're great in team fights, they're great as a snowball team, they're great at warding, they're great supports, they've got great tri lanes, they've got pretty much the whole kit now, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean the drafting too, like everything. Yeah, it's absolutely true. They really are just molding into this perfect kind of unit.
They kind of are. From Fnatic's point of view, Gods, what do you say about them? I mean, Blitz said, they had some bright spots in this game, and they did in the first game as well. There were a couple of really good team fights in that first game. They showed some promise in there. If the draft had kind of let them down a little bit, they're going to be okay in the lower bracket, aren't they? I
think they're playing very well as a team. Individually, we saw some good stand-up performances. Envy's early game, he dominated the tide like you want your Monkey King to do. Kept Fata down, very underfarmed. Envy was top of the net worth for a while. End of the day, though, they had a Monkey King TA as their core in their mid, and I'm just like, those are 2 heroes that aren't going to win you the game. Yeah. They may be lane winners in certain matchups, they may be able to farm okay, but winning the game off of the back of a good start is very hard for Fnatic.
And in terms of Universe, how do you feel? I mean, it's early days, obviously, but he seems to have fitted in pretty well.
His Batrider, I mean, his Batrider
That was good in
looking
game one,
He was,
wasn't it?
he was pretty much the reason that they were doing so well early on. So yeah, I would say that one. This one I think was a little bit harder because he's an Omni Knight into a Rubik, so it's like he's like, oh, I want to use this spell, and it's like, oh wait, oh god. You always have that like little bit of reluctant moment, so it is a little bit harder for him.
His job is kind of just like sit behind your cores and try and enable them. It wasn't really a game where he could shine when you're playing from a deficit as an Omni Knight, so hard to judge him on like his individual play from a game like this.
Sure. It didn't look out of place though, did it?
No, not at all. I think Fnatic actually played well as a team, even when it was like an 8 to 10k gold deficit. They had a couple really good team fights defending their high ground, bursting down the troll walled. So I think we saw Fnatic play overall pretty damn well.
All right, thank you very much, gents. We're going to move on and go to our last best of three. It's coming up after the break. Quick reminder for you as well, this best of three is VGJ Thunder versus Virtus Pro. We're going to find out a little bit more about who's top dogs and who are the favourites here at ESL One Genting 2018. We'll see you soon.
I'm not breathing in it right.
As you get older, life becomes all about following a few